Well, it's Wednesday, third week here. Yesterday I scouted some places and wasn't too much for sign. Couldn't find a track. There was a few buck tracks in there, but nothing too interesting, and most of them were a day old. But today I decided to try a place that usually doesn't get snow. The snow's been sketchy everywhere. It's a little here and a little there, and you couldn't tell where it was, so I took a chance and drove to a spot. I was actually in here last week on bare ground looking around. There's pretty good buck sign stuff. So I took a chance coming up here, and there was actually pretty good snow here. It's pretty near 2 inches up in the ridges here, so anyway, we'll see what happens. I picked up a yesterday's track. I've seen one track in the night, and it was a pretty good buck, but I left it go. And it was probably around 200 maybe. But there's been an old track in here that's a pretty good sized one. I'm heading up the ridges here, and I decided to take it, and all of a sudden another fresh buck track come in with it. It's not as big, but they're headed up kind of a trail here. There's a couple doe tracks in it. So I'm gonna poke up that, see where it brings me. Bound to be something going on here. It's rut's kicking in now. So we'll see what happens. Well, I'm pretty high up on the ridge now, and they come this trail. I know where it is now. I've been here years and years ago. I don't know, it's probably been 10 or more years. And it's a pinnacle up in here where they kind of come around on this finger ridge here. There's kind of a ledge, and there's been several other tracks come together, a couple of fresh, a couple of old. They're all filing right across this pinnacle up here. Good spot. Gone another ways here. I'm thinking they're somewheres up in these bluffs somewheres. There's a bunch of old bogs and stuff. An idea they're up here playing around or something, but another fresh track just come in. It's the freshest one that come in into the trail, and I can't tell. It's a pretty decent track. It's not a monster, but he's dragging his feet all the way. First track I've seen doing that in this little bit of snow, so he joined right in the trail, and I'm thinking there's a party up ahead somewhere. Got some drop-ins. I headed up the trail and I see some drop-ins there, and they're not even froze. It was 20 degrees this morning. They're not even froze at all. So this buck that just come in, he's not too far ahead. So I'm gonna slow down, see if I can get a look at him, and go from there. I see where they were. Looked like a buck chased a doe down, and then it turned around and went back. I'm not sure which one it was. There's a couple of decent bucks here, but I didn't see any real big toe dragging tracks, some square ones, but I just looked over in the ridge here, and I could see a buck skiing down through here. It's got to be a different one than I've been following. This one he's dragging his feet like one of them cross-country skiers, but the print's not real big, but he's got to be a little older to be doing that, so I'm sure it's 200-pounder or something, but I'm gonna poke on this. This one's actually kind of headed down. I'm gonna poke on this and see what I can turn up here. I'm gonna shift course for now. I'm pretty high now, and the freshest track was going back down. There was a little chasing around, but there still wasn't anything that I was getting excited about, so I kept following that trail up. There was less tracks in it. I popped out into the edge of this hardwoods here, and finally cut a big one. It's yesterday's track, but it's headed the way I want to turn anyways. This run's going off in the wrong direction. I'm trying to make a big circle for the day, so I finally found one of them big ones. But like I said, it's yesterday's track, but doesn't mean he didn't catch up to a doe here, because that's what's happening. The biggest ones are with a doe. They've rammed until they found one, and a little harder to find the track here, the beginning of it. So made a scrape here and kept going, but got a good stride on him. Nice looking track. Well, this bigger buck from yesterday picked up a doe, and he's sticking with her. I just come to another fresher track, but just can't find the fresh one I want. It was another nice track, up near 200 maybe, but too early in the game for that stuff, so I'm hoping maybe this buck and doe ain't all that far, They got together, and she's kind of jumping and going, and then he was coming along and just made another little paw in here, and continuing along up high here along this ridge, so see what happens. The doe, they just come up, get a little thicker, and there's two little dead firs here that are close together. Oh, they're probably 18 inches apart, and the doe went between them. Buck went out around them here. I'll show you that. I've been going through this real thick pole firs in this old cut here. I come to a running track. I must have spooked it out of here, I'd say, by the looks of it. And then I just was looking, trying to see if it was a big one, and now I got some fresh tracks. There's a doe track here fresh, so I might have bumped out the big one in the doe. But it's a little after 10 anyway. I was getting ready to have a sandwich, so I'm going to do that and try to figure it out here. So, the old track with that doe split to the right, and the running tracks went to the left. They kind of peeled like downhill a little bit, and I'm right up in the top where it's thick, and I got an idea. They may have just been hanging out in here and stuff, and it's the same ones, but I'm going to take a chance. I can't tell if it's the same one. I can tell it's a buck and a doe running, but the only other thing it could be was that other fresh track I seen back there, but that didn't have a doe with it, so I'll see what I can do and figure it out. I'd rather take this fresh one now. I'm hoping it's a bigger one. We'll see. Well, near as I can tell, that the two running tracks fresh were not that big one, and I didn't realize I get up so close to the Canadian border, and the two I jumped had come down across, and they went back, and the old big track did too, so I gotta head down lower and see what I can cut now. I can't dub on any more old ones. I gotta try to find a big fresh one here. So anyways, I'll keep going. It's almost like starting over. Well, I turned down from the border there and was kind of paralleling a little bit because it was north-south, and then I cut down over and I picked up a buck track coming from the other side of the border, and it's made early in the night, last night, but it's a good one. So it's getting late, but not late really, but it's not noon yet, but for as old as it is in the night, so hopefully it catches up with the doe. So I'm going to hammer right along on it here and see what I can do. Well, he was turning towards the border again. I'm still a ways from it, but he's up in this hardwood bowl, and I saw some old doe tracks coming by, and then there's two running tracks. It looks like a buck chasing a doe down through there today, over here behind me, so I'm going to turn on that. I can't tell running. It looks like a pretty good jump on it here, so at least it's freshened up, so get after it here. He chased that doe for a while, I don't know, maybe a half a mile, something like that, and he turned a couple circles, and I guess she ain't quite ready because the old boy left her, and he's striking off again for trying to find the next doe. Well, I couldn't catch up to him. It was still, the track was still a little froze from, I think that one was made like first thing this morning, but he swung back uphill and headed back away from where the truck is, so I gotta It's 2:30 now. I got a long walk out of here, probably, well, I don't know, 3 miles or something, and it ain't very good going, so I'm gonna start poking down and try her again tomorrow.